don't think he wants to.
So that's where I'm going with this, Dave, because I'm setting this up for you. I think Michigan's whole game plan defensively, and this is going to sound crazy, stop the run. Take TreVeyon Henderson away. And if you can stop the run and you put Kyle McCord in 3rd and longs and you put him in 3rd and 6+, I think, okay, so this is what I think about Kyle McCord. CJ Stroud, if you got to him, you could shake him. I think Kyle McCord comes pre-shook. I think he's the can that you take out of the bag or the fridge and you just shake up and then you give it to somebody. I think that's Kyle McCord. Like, I think he's that type of dude that's like, he's got a little bit of pee on his pants when he's heading out there. I think he's just that type of dude that he already comes into the situation and he's shook. He's the Sam Darnold seeing ghosts. I don't know how many other analogies you need, Dave, to let you know that he is that dude that is shook. And if you let him build confidence by letting the running game take over, Michigan will be sorry. I can guarantee you that. And TreVeyon Henderson, for as much crap as he took last year, he's had a great season. He looks like him this year. He looks like a first-round talent. He looks like a second-round talent. And the offensive line has been okay for Ohio State. But, Dave, I'll let you go. But I'm just saying that the Michigan defense needs to stop that ground game first and foremost.
TreVeyon Henderson has been one of the best running backs in the country when he's out there, and you forget, like, when he is healthy, just how good he can actually be. I'm glad that you brought that up. I do. I think the run game is going to be absolutely critical here, and I do like how Michigan stacks up against the run game. I mean, we saw it. We've seen it all year. I feel confident with that. I think that if that D-line can continue to put pressure on McCord, you don't need to sack him 3, 4, 5 times, but just simply put pressure on him. I agree with you. This is going to be his biggest moment by far, obviously, of his young career. But he has not been consistent, composed all year. He's going to make mistakes, and I think Michigan's got to force him into that. But I mean, just so we're not totally Michigan homers here right now, because look, Michigan's got some flaws that they've got to clean up. Will Johnson did not look good against Maryland. He got beat multiple times. And if you're depending on Will Johnson to be that dude, to be the guy that's going to, I don't want to say lock up or bottle up Marvin Harrison Jr., because look, nobody's going to do that. Can he contain him? I mean, that's a big question. On the opposite side, Josh Wallace, like, Emeka Ibuka out there, like, what? I'm not. This secondary has kind of been a question mark all year. Brant, Maryland was the perfect warm-up game to Ohio State because it's really the first offense we've seen to just want to air it out like that, and they got us a couple of times. So say what you will about Kyle McCord, but they're going to bring it. And these DBs got to be ready. And the way you save those DBs is by being active up front and putting pressure from the get-go. And I think that that's going to really be a storyline in this game is, can Michigan plunge through that O-line? Can they contain TreVeyon Henderson, and can they put pressure on Kyle McCord? You do those two things, and look, I mean, you give up 80 rushing yards to TreVeyon Henderson, that's a win in my book. Like, let him run it for 20 times for 80 yards. Like, that's an absolute win. I'll take that. I think if that's the case, I think we're talking about a Michigan win next time we record this podcast. Brant, on the opposite side of this is Michigan's offense. JJ is struggling. I don't know if he's working through something. I'm not sure. He's staying in the pocket. It has not looked good. These last couple of games, I mean, Penn State only threw it 8 times, but still, this past game against Maryland gave me like just kind of the feelings of like the Bowling Green game for some reason. He was just off. He's not getting outside the pocket, and I guess like my wondering that we probably just won't know is like, is he hurt? Like, is there a reason why he's not getting outside the pocket? Are they trying to protect him? Like they want him as healthy as possible for the Ohio State game? I'm not sure, but look, I think this running game is what it is. Is it as good as we all thought it would be? No. A lot of that's to the O-line as well. Pass and run protection, and opening up holes, but it's just, it's a really good run game. Blake Corum looks really good. Donovan Edwards has looked better, but it's not looked like we thought it would. And so I mean, we talked about this 3, 4, 5 weeks ago is, look, this season, this game in particular is going to fall on the shoulders of JJ McCarthy. If JJ's not good, okay, if he's forcing throws or he is just off on timing, like, we're not going to win this football game. We're not. So he doesn't need to go out and be a hero. I'm not saying that JJ needs to throw for 300 yards by any stretch there, but he's got to be good. He's got to be the JJ that's back to completing like 75% of his passes, making the right throw, and I'm confident that he can do it. I think I texted you this week and I said, I'm the biggest JJ fan there is. Can I recognize when he's been off? Absolutely. But the one thing I will say about him and why I've loved having him as Michigan's quarterback, JJ McCarthy is a dog. He is. He shows up in the big moments. He just does. I mean, you even look back on the TCU game. That was not a good game for JJ, but you know what? JJ put the team on his back and kept them in that game. When they needed JJ last year against Ohio State, he was there. He showed up. He's not afraid. No moment is too big for JJ McCarthy. And if we're looking at JJ versus Kyle McCord, I'll take JJ 100% of the time.
Yeah, Dave, the Michigan offense is just missing something right now. And I'll just go back to last year against Illinois. That was pretty much the same thing as what we got in Maryland. I mean, it was a subpar performance. And last year we were just asking questions like, is JJ going to be good enough? Like that performance against Illinois and some of the performances last year, we had both said, yeah, if he plays like that, we're just going to lose in Columbus, and that's going to be it. And then obviously they come out with a stellar game plan, and they just execute it beautifully, and things break right for them. So I'm not saying that's not going to happen this year, but it does feel to me, Dave, like for whatever reason, Michigan is holding something back. And it just annoys me so much, dude. Like, why do I get the feeling like, hey, we don't want to run JJ in a zone read right now just because he's working through something like you just said or something like that. And then all of a sudden we're in survival mode and it's a 5-point game in the fourth quarter. And then he misses a wide open Cornelius Johnson walk-in touchdown. It's just maddening. And you cannot have that next week. There cannot be missed throws like that because they'll come back and put 7 on you in a hurry. You know, it's just and Dave, let's call a spade a spade. Maryland missed some real opportunities to take it to us. I mean, they probably left 14, 17 points out on the field there. And that happens in games like that, but Michigan got kind of lucky. I know you anti-homerism here. Michigan got lucky to win that game. When you blow a 23-3 lead, sometimes you don't deserve to win. So that is what it is, and I'll just leave it at that. But this offensive line has got to get it figured out, and I don't know if that's a portion of Sharon Moore spending more time being the head coach or what on Saturday specifically, but man, Carson Barnhart is a turnstile right now. Ladarius Henderson being out just absolutely shook this team. Miles Hinton going down, hit after hit after hit on that offensive line. And all of a sudden, Trente Jones is playing in the fourth quarter in a 5-point game. And I'm like, no, that's not a great situation. And I'm glad Carson Barnhart can run block. But there's two sides to that coin, and we all know what it is. You need to be able to pass block. And right now, he's not living up to the billing. And it's not good enough, and it won't win you a Big Ten championship.
Took the words right out of my mouth. I wanted to talk about that O-line, and you hit it perfectly. Brand, I know we will talk this game here again probably when we do the bets. You said you had 2 bets for me tonight, and I'm guessing that's one of them we were going to talk about. So we will make our predictions then. Any final thoughts on the game this weekend, Michigan, Ohio State? I'll ask you a specific question. What's the leading headline following this game?
Ryan Day can't beat interim coach Sharon Moore and falls to 0-3 against Michigan since Urban's team left.
I'm right there with you. My headline is this: no Jim Harbaugh, no problem. That's it. I think Michigan gets it done. I know we'll talk this